Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Weekly 7 with me, your host, Monroe Man.
Hi everyone, my name is Monroe Man. Welcome to the Weekly 7. Our stories today, top story, the Thai cave rescue. Next we're going to talk about world air quality. Travel, we're going to go to Maine, the northern state. Politics, talking about the U.S. trade war and the unemployment situation here in the U.S. Entertainment, Antman and the Wasp. Tech science, we're going to talk something called Supersuits. They're like Iron Man suits that actually exist now. And finally, we're going to talk about life skills, life insurance. Sounds boring, but I'll explain why it's not. So the top story, the Thai cave rescue. As many of you know, there is a youth soccer team plus their soccer coach caught in a cave in Thailand. If you look at the map, the cave goes like this, like this, like this for something like 1.3 miles. It's a really difficult situation. A Thai Navy SEAL diver has already died trying to rescue them. The situation's so dire that Elon Musk has now sent a team of Boring Company and Tesla engineers over there to help with the situation. Some of the lessons to be learned here, and I don't say this to be funny, but maybe it is, learn how to swim, learn how to scuba dive, and if you're gonna go into a cave network, make sure you're trained in doing that type of hiking. I myself am a PADI scuba dive master, and I often think, oh, you know, what's the point of this? I never really use it that much. It's just for fun. It's a hobby. And I'm thinking, you know what? If I were caught in that cave right now being a dive master, not only could I probably save my life, but I could help save other people's lives. So it's strange how things that you learn over the course of your life that you think may not be helpful could very well come in handy one day. One of the Google trending topics, if you go to google.com/trends, it's a very fascinating page that shows you what people are searching for around the world. One of them is air quality. And I can totally understand this because around the world, in major cities, air quality is really terrible. Now, I'm not talking about New York City, which does has air quality problem, but I'm talking about in other developing world cities, such as Shanghai, China, New Delhi, India, Los Angeles. That city is still developing, in my opinion. I wasn't much of an environmentalist until I got to China and saw how bad the pollution really is. While I'm not a bleeding heart liberal, I do acknowledge that, wow, too much coal burning, too many cars, too many factories, all concentrated in the same place, cause devastating effects, but reversible. According to the Chinese government, the Chinese pollution problem is going to peak in 2024 and then subsequently start to decline. That alone kind of scares me because it's 2018 now. That means there's 6 more years of the pollution getting worse and then it's going to start to get better? But before everybody criticizes Shanghai, China, New Delhi, India, Los Angeles, California, think about the Industrial Revolution back in the 1800s. London, England was just as bad 50 years ago. And look at London now, it's wonderful. We have to just give these cities time, but I hope that they get on the ball sooner than later because these cities have huge amounts of people. Shanghai has 22 million people. And these children have to grow up breathing in this terrible, terrible stuff. So please, governments of Shanghai, New Delhi, and Los Angeles, please get on the ball. For the travel story, I'm headed up to Maine today. My family has a lake house up there in a small town on a small lake where Stephen King lives. And we are doing our best not to have to sell the house because unfortunately it costs a lot of money. And so we're going up to prepare for some renters who are going to be coming in. I grew up in Maine. My family bought this house up there when I was born and we would go up every summer. And further, I actually lived there and went to high school there, middle school, 7th and 8th grade, and then 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. So my childhood, I grew up in 2 places. I grew up in suburban metro New York, and then also in rural Maine. It took me about an hour and a half on 2 different school buses to get to school every morning. In the wintertime, I would get on the bus, pitch black, and when I'd get home from school at 4:30, it was also pitch black. So it was a very, very interesting experience. Maine is a beautiful place. Do not go to the coast. I mean, of course you can, but it's the same thing as what it looks like in Boston type of thing up the coast, Rhode Island, Martha's Vineyard. But if you go inland to a place called Little Switzerland, which is the Mount Washington Valley, where North Conway, New Hampshire meets Freiburg, Maine. That whole area, the Saco River, all of the various lakes, Mount Kearsarge, Mount Washington, you must go check it out. If you've never been to Switzerland, but you'd like to, but you don't want to fly across the ocean, go up to it. It's a place dubbed, it's nickname, Little Switzerland in Maine and New Hampshire. For politics, yes, the United States and China are undergoing a huge trade war. And I saw Trump speaking last night, and his logic does make sense. He said, look, right now all of these countries are raping us, they're taking advantage of us, and right now they're retaliating with all of these other tariffs because they just want to save face. And he said, look, when push comes to shove and these tariffs keep going up, the escalating trade war, he said, I'm just going to say to them, look, we can continue with these tariffs or just knock out all tariffs completely and there's 0-0 on either side. Apparently, when and if we win this trade war, our GDP will jump by something like 1.4%, which is huge. And USA Today just reported that the unemployment rate now jumped from 4% to 3.8%. Things are going very well. And I know Donald Trump has a very contrary approach to things, but what he's been doing seems to be working. If you just look at the statistics and look at the facts, look at the economy, it is doing well. So I'm going to hold my breath and not judge Trump on his strategy yet of this trade war with China, with Canada, with Europe, because I have a feeling that the United States is going to come out on top, and we will know probably in about 4 to 6 months. For entertainment, Antman and the Wasp just came out, and I was so surprised on the trailers to see Evangeline Lilly of Lost fame. That beautiful actress who was in the movie Lost. Apparently she retired from acting and now she is back. And I'm excited because I'm actually going to go see it because she is in it. I haven't seen Ant-Man 1, but now I actually want to go see Ant-Man 1. But I have to say, these Marvel superhero movies, they're kind of getting old. They're kind of getting stale. The stories are all kind of the same. The hero who walks away from the challenge, but then he comes back. He's enticed to save the world, and then she does, and blah, blah, blah. I'm sure when I go watch Ant-Man and the Wasp, it will be exactly the same. For tech science, this is very, very fascinating. We all perhaps have seen Iron Man, where there's this man, regular man like me, who puts on this suit that makes him a superhero, this metal suit that has amazing superpowers. Well, there's a company called Seismic, and they're making these things called Supersuits. And no, it's not like Iron Man exactly, but it's designed to help people who have limited mobility. Women and men who are over 60, who are starting to age and lose muscle mass. Also those with muscular dystrophy and whatever other muscular ailments that they may have. It's basically a nylon stretch suit, and inside it has robots. Basically these motors that are in line with your tendons and near the joints, so that it mimics what a tendon would do, allowing you to have more elasticity, more strength, so that when you try to stand up, while your tendons are working, these actual robots are working too to help guide your muscles and get you moving. I'm very excited to see where this goes, because I think this is going to help lots and lots of people. You can just search for Seismic Supersuits. And finally, for our life skill for this week, I want to talk about life insurance. If you do not have life insurance, you need to get it. Whether you're single, whether you are married, whether you are a widow, whether you're whatever you are, you should have life insurance. And I recommend that you get both whole life insurance and term life insurance. There are two parts to the same puzzle. Whole life insurance has an investment component to it, and in the long run is a lot less expensive. Term life is very convenient and initially is less expensive, but as you get older and over time, it gets very expensive and it gains no cash value. If any of this is confusing, and I'm sure it is, please get in touch with me. Write a comment or send me a message. Go to my website, monroemanlaw.com. In addition to being an attorney, I am also a New York life insurance salesman. At the very least, I can at least give you some pointers, give you some tips, and help guide you in the right direction. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Please stick around for the Comedy Musical Improv addendum, and please subscribe. If you've made it this far, I would really love one more subscriber as I move to get towards 1,000. Bye.